everybody. This is the week 5 summary of how I've been getting on with the BUPA Intermediate Marathon Training Programme. If you saw the summary for week 4, you'll know that I finished off having been in bed, having inhaled some nasty chemicals when I was spraying, and not accustomed to handling chemicals, but I did what I thought was right. I adhered to all the recommendations on the safety data sheet and looked up the chemicals and checked everything out, but I must still have been a bit careless and managed to inhale some of it. But it's not deadly chemicals, and thankfully there's no need to rush myself to the hospital to get professional care. It did mean that I was in bed for 3 days, and when I did try on Monday to go for a run to see how I was, I was finding it difficult to breathe. So I've lost quite a bit of time from the week 4 part of the programme. So we started again on Tuesday. Tuesday was meant to be a 40-minute steady run, and that wasn't going to happen even at the best of times, because I had entered a hill race on the Tuesday evening. So that was about 7.5 or 8 kilometres, and there is a video of that, and I'll put a link to that in the description so you can go and have a look at it. So the Tuesday morning I still wasn't sure whether I would be able to do that race or not. So I went out for an easy 5k run with my friend Bill, and the morning one, it wasn't brilliant, but it was good enough that I could see that I could manage to at least get to the end of the hill race. I wouldn't have been surprised if I'd had to walk the whole of the uphill bit, because that's really where I was struggling to get enough oxygen on the Monday, which is only the day before. But I'm pleased to say that I was able to run all but the steepest parts of it. So yeah, that wasn't too bad at all. And so we've got another race under our belt. So how did we get on Wednesday? Wednesday was a 10-kilometre easy run. So I because it's an easy run, I knew that I could stick to that part of the schedule. Wednesday nights I take out my beginners group out for their run, and it's never going to be much more than 5k. This week it was a bit of a challenge for them, and I wanted them to get to the top of the East Lomond, which is the hill that overlooks Falkland, where we do our training. And we don't go from the bottom right up to the top, but we start probably about 2/3 of the way up. And rather than going uphill, it's more a gentle incline along the ridge kind of thing, and then the steepest bit at the summit they just walk up. So we did that. It was 5.4 kilometres. And we did it in 49 minutes. And so there was a lot of regrouping with the crowd. I didn't top it up to the 10k though. Thursday was scheduled to be a 40-minute tempo run, but I didn't do that because I had done or tried to do the 10k on the Monday, and I had been out on the Tuesday, Wednesday, and I was going to try and do the long run over the weekend or before the weekend. I decided that I would take Thursday as a rest day, and I think that was the sensible thing to do. So on Friday I would be normally again scheduled to do cross training. I go to the swimming pool, but I missed that, so that's 2 Fridays I've missed swimming. The previous Friday, the week 4 one, I was in bed with this inhaling the chemicals. The Friday of this week, I put in the long run that I had missed on Sunday with being in bed. If I want to keep on track, then I think I needed to at least try to keep the long runs going. So I didn't want to wait for the full week, because that would put me out a full week behind. Instead, I took the rest day on the Thursday and went out and did it on the Friday. Now, because I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do 10 miles, given that I could hardly breathe at the beginning of the week, I went to Creighton Country Park, which has a path that goes where we do the park run. It's a mile round the perimeter, and or just under that. It's actually 11 laps to do 10 miles or 16 kilometres. So we did that, and we did it absolutely, perhaps perfectly is an overstatement, but there was no stopping to walk or anything. I was absolutely delighted with the way that went. So over the run, I came in at 6 minutes and 2 per kilometre, which is my normal cruising pace. So because the park is generally flat, there's only a couple of smallish inclines, one quite shallow, one a little bit steeper, but where there are inclines it tends to be long and shallow rather than going ballistic uphill. I think that helped because I didn't need to breathe really deeply. So that was good. Saturday, the schedule was for 45 minutes easy run, so having done the long run the night before, that was perfect. I do a park run on the Saturday morning, and I honestly wasn't sure how I was going to manage having done the 10 miles less than 12 hours earlier. However, I started off with an easy pace in deference to the 10-mile run. The first incline that I came to, I could feel my hamstrings tight, but after probably the first half a k, something like that, certainly no more than the first k, everything had settled back down, and we were good. The time I was expecting that it would have come in about the 27 minutes, but it was just a couple of seconds over 26. Which I was absolutely delighted with. I thought that, given that I'd done 10 miles the previous night, I really couldn't have expected any better, and considering that I'd been confined to my bed. So that was 5k, took me, as I say, 26 minutes, so I did an extra 2 laps of the park, which is just under an extra 3 kilometres, and took me to 42 minutes, which was absolutely perfect. Sunday is long run day. Because I had done a long run on the Friday, I thought it would be a bit silly to go out and do another one on the Sunday. So I postponed that until the Monday of week 6, that would be. So Monday is normally a rest day after doing your long run. So the implication of doing the long run on the Monday is that I would have my rest day on Tuesday. Tuesday was scheduled as a 45-minute easy run, so I brought that forward to the Sunday. Hope you can follow that. So really what I'm doing is shuffling the Sunday, the Monday and the Tuesday around, and I'm achieving what I'm meant to be doing over the same 3 days. And by doing this, it also means that I actually have, by the Tuesday, I've actually caught up on the programme to where I would have been if I hadn't been confined to bed. So 45-minute easy run. I ran from home into the local town, and that's just over, I think it's 4.2 miles, something like that. And I went a little bit further and doubled back, and then I got the bus home. So that was good. It was running at the start, and running. It was raining at the start, and I started off with a jacket on, but after about 10 minutes I was boiling up. Unfortunately, I'd taken my backpack, so I could stop and put it into the backpack, and that was good. When I started back running again, I did find it really quite hard, and it took me about half a kilometre to get going again. So I'm not sure whether that was it's kind of a legacy of having done 2 long runs in quick succession, or whatever. But overall the pace was good. It was just over the 5.5 minutes a kilometre, and so really quite pleased with that. And no stopping to walk. It was a constant run the whole way. So that was Sunday. Now we can go into the start of week 7. I'll just give the briefest of feedback on this, because I'll include the main feedback on the run in my summary for the next week, which I think is week 6. So it was scheduled as a 19 kilometre, and it was meant to be done on the Sunday. So I went out and I did the 19 kilometres. I did the Loch Leven Heritage Trail, which I did a couple of times, maybe 3 or 4 times last year, and I'll put links to the recordings of that down in the description, so you can see how I got on last year. I didn't do very well. I never have been able to do that run very well, and I have to say it was much the same this time. The second half I really struggled, but nonetheless, this whole idea of when I have to do a little bit of walking and running, the walking, it's only 10 paces or so, and then I start again. I do 100 or 200 metres, 10 paces, 100 or 200 metres. So I got round without too much difficulty, but I just couldn't keep myself running all the time, which in some ways is disappointing, but in other ways, given what's happened in the last week and a half, it's not really surprising. So that came in. It came in just over the 2 hours, and average pace 6 minutes 20, which I'm not proud of, but it's not that bad really under the circumstances. So there we are, that's week 5, and we have effectively caught up with the programme much quicker than I had expected. Excuse me. Okay, so that's been a bit longer than normal, but hope you found it interesting, and I'm really relieved to say back on programme and back on track with the marathon preparation. Okay, so see you next time then, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to make sure you get notifications of all new content.